Hey, good morning. This is going to be Battlefield 2 editing in 2026. Wow, the years went quick. Alright, as we're going to do a little quick review from what we had posted before, the programs you really want to get is WinRAR, Notepad++, GIMP 2, GIMP 3, Odyssey, Battlefield 2 sound tools. These are some of the ones that we're going to use a lot, and if you're going to do editing, and it'll make it a lot easier. I found some other tricks and some new tricks. Make folders for shortcuts to all your stuff. So it makes it a lot easier than trying to search for it all the time, because you'll be in and out of the maps quite a bit. As of the last one, you never use the original mod that you're going to do, or that you're going to rework, or that you're going to edit. You always make a copy of it and you rename it Warbird. I renamed mine Warbird. You can rename whatever you want. And then you can go through the levels and you can delete the stuff that you don't play. I mean, there's a lot of maps. Some maps have up to 23 to 30 maps in them, or some levels. And a lot of them you don't play. You can just delete them, and as long as you're working out of your copy or the edit that you did, if you want to add something else, you just go back to the original one that you changed and add that to it, so it's no big deal. The smaller the mod of your own, the little easier it is to work on maps and to do maps. The other stuff is, like I say, WinRAR. You can see them all over here. Helps out quite a bit because you'll be in them quite a bit off and on. Getting into your mod, what I found out on a lot of the stuff, easier ways to do it. We'll go down here to this one, and we'll go into the info to start with. Now, as far as the PNG photos, these are the ones you can use with GIMP and GIMP 2. You can edit them, change the stuff around, add planes, do whatever you want in them. It's a little easier, a little nicer than just watching the map or looking at the map. Gives you a little more creativity to your mod and the other stuff. Warbirds, this is the description in it. If you're going to change anything, if you want to add team deathmatch or add, these here are just 64, 64, and single player 1. But as long as you follow the same file structure, you can copy this, change it to 16, change it to 32, and then you can add the 16 and 32 bits to it, so you have, instead of just 3 games, now you've got 6 games or 9 games that you can go in. And what you do in them is, under your server.zip, you can come down here to your game modes, and as you can see, you have 64, Conquest 64, and single player 64. So what you would do is you would come in here, you would create a new folder, name it 32, create another folder named 16 or whatever you want to do, and then you open the 64 up, copy these 2 files out of there and put them in your 16 and your 32. Now you've got everything set up, you added it to your description. Now you've got a whole mod set up with a 16, a 32, and a 64. And the reason for that is now you can go into your game mode, and we'll just start 64 first in single player. And this is all the stuff that loads. So if you want to do a 16 player with a 64-bit map, and all you want is tanks and the whole thing, you can come in here and you can change all the stuff around to what you want. Makes it a little easier. Makes it a lot easier to change stuff. As you see, we're in Notepad++. Everything's numbered down the sides. You can see that I've changed a lot of the stuff already. The biggest deal is, on most of this stuff, is you have an object spawner, and this tells the Battlefield 2 engine what to spawn. So in East Oilfield, we're going to spawn an AIX ATV. And if you go down here a little farther, you can see a lot of the stuff I've already changed. In US Town, for the Trans Hilly, is going to get a Mosquito. A lot of this stuff is all, Clive Wells did a lot of this stuff, puts a lot of stuff out there for free. Mod Database has a lot of files that you can copy the stuff off of. A lot of the mods, the NWM mod, the Firebird mod. There's a lot of mods out there that you can use some of the objects out of them, or copy the whole objects files over, and I'll show you later on how we can do that. Spitfires, but this tells everything that you want. Now you want to keep the same file structure. And as we scroll down through here a little bit, you'll find out that what I've done on a lot of these that I figured out is that you can go through here, and before they were just the fighter 1, and this is what it was. So what you can do is you can actually copy this whole folder here, or just copy it, and then you can paste it down wherever you want next to it, or down the next one, and you can rename it to Fighter 1, Fighter 2, Fighter 01. You can see how these here are set up, and that'll spawn you another whole set of airplanes or whatever you want to do. It'll spawn them in that place, but you have to keep the same file structure, which I mean is if you copy exactly Fighter 1 off of here and make a copy, it's going to not, the engine's not going to understand what that is. That's why you got to change it to Fighter 1. You change it from Fighter 1 to Fighter 2 or Fighter 02. That way the Battlefield 2 engine can distinguish between the two, which makes it a lot easier for the engine to work and a lot more efficient. So once you figured out which ones you want to copy, what you want to do with them, you can scroll down here a little ways farther, and you'll find out that this is the object spawner. So the object spawner tells the Battlefield 2 engine where to place it on the map. These here tell you what to place, and then these down here tell you where to place it at. So you can scroll down through here, and we had Fighter 1 is what we looked at up there a little earlier. So we'll scroll down through here, and you look for the Fighter 1 folder, or Fighter 1 object spawner. And there's Bomber and Bomber 1, and actually you can do the same thing with them. So if you changed the Bomber 1 up there, copied it and pasted it, named it Bomber 2, you would come down here and you would copy this and then repaste it down here, and then change this from Bomber 1 to whatever you named the other one, and then you can change the coordinates down here where it is. The rotation, you don't need to mess with it too much. The 56 depends on what the map is and how it's set up. This is actually how far away from the center spawn point that the plane is, and this one here is actually right and left. So what you would do is, say you created another one, you would backspace this off to from 526 to say 516 or even 500, and then base this one from 56 to maybe 50. And what that does, actually in feet and yards, this is all digital by what the engine runs, but when you translate it for yourself, it's kind of more like feet and yards. So it would be like 6.000 feet, and this would be 26.00 feet. You know, depends on how the engine is and where you're located from the flag. So basically, when you go down through there, you can spawn them over, and then it'll respawn and add more stuff to that. You can change them whatever you want. You just got to keep the same file structure. And let me close out of here. And that's using WinRAR. And as you can see, we'll go back in one more. Go levels. Warbird. We'll go to server.zip, and as you see, it's opening up inside the zip folder. So we're actually working inside the zip folder. We don't have to unzip it, re-edit it, and then re-zip it. WinRAR will do it all for you. And let me go back up here once. And what I've always done, found a lot easier, instead of doing SP3, is go into Conquest. Because Conquest, nothing loads, no bots, none of that stuff. So you can go into Conquest 64 gameplay objects, and you can edit this stuff to where you want to put the objects, what you want to do, and then go into the 64 Conquest under Create Your Own, and then you can go through and make sure everything's placed where you want it placed. You can change it, you can make different quotes on it, say, well, I don't need it here, I need it over here, or I should have had it here and I had it over here. So that helps out quite a bit. You don't have to worry about the bots and all the other stuff loading. And as you can see, here's the one that I've done, is I've copied the heli, made heli, anti-heli 02, changed that around, and then anti-heli 3, anti-heli 4, added the Shelby Cobra, the Dickey's bus, and a lot of the other stuff. So I've actually added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 separate different placeholders for stuff. So this is going to create the bus. This is 05. You know, I've copied it 5 times already and pasted it. This will create the Dickey's bus. And then when you scroll down through here, we'll find the same. This is the heli 01. This compares the east oil field, and this is where the one that we've changed up there. This tells you the heavy tank, and we've changed it from 01 to 02 to 03 to 04. And as you can see, the coordinates on some of these is the original started at 508, and then I placed one of the buses at 700, placed another bus at 1000, placed another object at 1000, and you'll see 380 is right to left, 680. So you've changed quite a bit to where you place the object. And as in a second here, we'll scroll back in there. And those are the only 2 that you need to change. The object spawner tells it where to spawn, and object spawner template tells it what to spawn. So as we get back into this, and that's all through Notepad++, and it'll repack it back for you when you're done. Here, I'll get back in it and I'll show you a little more. We'll just change that from K back to K, and we'll go File, Save. It'll automatically bring it up. Click Yes. It'll automatically pack it back in the mod, so you don't have to unpack it, screw with it, and go back. You can do it all right within Windows or WinRAR. So we'll close that out. Alright, and we'll go back. And another quick shortcut to go directly to your mod instead of going to Battlefield 2 is we'll go to Properties. Alright, we'll copy that just so you can see it. I'll open up Notepad and we'll paste it in Notepad. So when you make a shortcut for your mod that you just made, you go to C Program Files, x86, EA Games, Battlefield 2, or wherever you put your Battlefield 2 at, Battlefield 2 EXE. And then you want to put a space plus restart, space plus mod path, space plus mods. That tells the engine where to find it. And then since I named mine Warbirds, it'll be Warbirds. Whatever you name your mod will be in this spot. And then when you start your mod, we won't save that, we'll close that. So now we'll go to your mod shortcut and we'll fire that up. And what it'll do is it'll go through there, it'll load Battlefield 2, and then it'll read the line after that. So then it'll reload. Now it'll reload it again, and now it's reloading into your mod. Instead of running Battlefield 2 and then going to the other menus to find your mod, this will load it directly into your mod. Now once you're in your mod, you can get the normal login screen, which you usually always get. We'll open that, and now you're in your mod. Single player, all your games that are in your mod that you've done or edited. Go into co-op, and then we're going to create it local. We're already at Conquest, and you can add team death matches. I've added team death matches to the other ones. I've got 4 computers that are networked together, so we'll sit there and play against each other on all 4. But get back to where we're at, go to Conquest, we'll scroll down here. Warbirds, that's the one that we've changed. We'll add that map, and then we'll click start. And this way you can go in and you can change the load limit to 3 if you want. That way, OGG files you can show a little later where they go and they follow the right file format to get in their right spot. And that's where the Audigy software comes in where you can print things stuff.
206, done, consult in, hold overheading, 5, break 106, ticket 4.
Home use. This is for your own home use, your own home network, single player. You don't want to mess with any of your original stuff, that's why you always make a copy. Because if you mess with the original stuff, and you go and try to play online, it's not going to let you play online.
We're doing a case relaunch,
That's why you always do copy, rename the copy, the name of the mod, or whatever you want to do, edit mod, or whatever. Work in your edit mod.
101, contact 1 mile, traffic 12 o'clock, 2 miles,
and the photos and some of the other stuff are all used through GIMP, which is really easy to use. Take a lot.
501, Roger.
And as far as recording stuff, you can record anything you want. You can put double tracks,
106 again.
change tracks. It all looks pretty much the same.
106, Roger.
And it's easy once you get on to it. You make mistakes
100, radar contact 2 miles.
And on our map, when it loads, now you can see there's a couple planes down here that we added. There's some other stuff down here. This is all off them coordinates that we put on. Over here you'll see some more stuff down in here. That stuff that's hidden off to the side. Makes the map a little more nicer to get in there and stumble across something you haven't seen. So we'll click on that spot. As you can see, there's a plane that I wrapped. I used a out of space cosmic plane on for that one, which works out pretty decent. And then here's another one that we messed up a little bit in GIMP. Gotta do a few more touches on that. They come out fairly good, pretty decent. As far as the canopy on this one, you can see it's got a little tint from the graphics that we wrapped it in, but as you climb in it, you can see it's still see-through. Everything still works as it should. You can see on the propellers, we made some changes on them. We put some of the ID stickers on them, serial numbers and stuff. Gun ports come out pretty good. Just a little oddball stuff. Makes it a little more exciting. This is some of the secret stuff. Yeah, it is a Cobra. The only thing that I haven't figured out yet is, for some reason, I've got a missile stuck on the front of that. I've been through the mesh trying to find out where that came from, and I'm still not quite 100% sure how that got in there or what's going on with that. Most everything you see in here is all made by other modders. They spend a lot of time on this stuff. Some get excited if you do a little changing on them. A lot of the stuff is kind of better to use, leave it alone. It is your own mod, it is your own stuff, your own private use, so you know, in the long term they'll never see it anyway. And they are all fully functional, as you can see. As far as the monster truck, everything's pretty decent on that. They did a real good job. They spent a lot of time on this stuff. Sound good, did a lot of work. Take a little fly around just to see what else is going on. These mods, I think later on, I've had a lot of calls, a lot of requests for them. I might just turn this into a own your own mod, single player, private use, release it through mod database, just have a little fun with it. There's another bus that's stuck back here, there's one stuck there. Over the hill here you see there's an X-Wing that was stuck in there. You might find back here, there might be a UFO base hidden back did take the boundaries off. I did take the outer limits out, so you don't get a warning. You don't get anything. I'll show you a little later in the video how we change that. And as we pull the map up, you can see up in the upper right-hand corner, we're stuck in the corner, but as you can see, we still got a lot of map back there. So they limit you to a little bit of spot in the map, but as you can see, you can go quite a ways in the map. There's even an ocean back here. There's the map. But as you can see, there's a pretty good sized map. You can hide a lot of stuff all over it. You don't have to go through the Battlefield 2 editor. Basically, you're just hunting and finding and stick stuff here and there, just for a little bit of oddball stuff. And as you can see, well, there's the X-Wing there. So we was quite a ways back away from that. So you can add little tricks here and there, do little stuff. It makes it a little easier. You can add stuff. Full map. Planes have all the original stuff. Everything's got a boost on it. You don't really see a lot of it. You get some boost out of it. Different views. You can get different views too, as far as that goes. Flyby view. All that stuff all works like it should. You can see there's a little more stuff here. You can see it has the bases. Works a little easier. The stuff shows up a little more. It turned the east oil field into U.S. and the west oil field into China. And then back here you can add more stuff. You put stuff in the lake. It just takes a little bit of goofing around, a little bit of looking where to place stuff. Sometimes you got to do it 2 or 3 times. Yeah, that's not where I want it, or I want to stick it somewhere else. A little easier. For me, I think it's a little more exciting to do the stuff, to put the stuff where you want it. As far as the maps, we'll get back into the mod. We'll go to levels. Everything is where we were at. We'll go under the server zip. Now in here, in the INI, you might wonder why some maps have a theme that is, you know, camouflage, other stuff. You might see one plane in one map but not see the plane in another map. All that's done through your INI, and as you can see, custom texture surface. I got target in here because some of the stuff that I've painted, I made different photos of it and put targets on it, made different. So the map that we just were in is one that I made just for target practice, bombing practice, fly different planes, get used to stuff that you don't really see in some of the other maps or mods. But if this is blank, if this is just parentheses on both sides with nothing in there, I can show you actually, like that, it'll go to the default, which is your C, whatever photo is under C, it'll show. Now you have Woodlawn, you have 3 or 4 different ones. Woodlawn is one. Forest. I made a couple of my own. I made Tuskegee for some of the planes, and that way when you go into a map and you want Tuskegee or, you know, Mustangs fighting BF 109s, or you want Spitfires against 109s, you can put the custom texture in there that you want. You can name it whatever you want. But that loads that photo for that tank or that vehicle. So that's all done through the INI. And like I say, going through, we won't save that, going through, Notepad++ makes it a lot easier, and working with the Win RAR makes it a lot easier. And then in the game modes, we'll go back into CQ and under gameplay objects. And what we'll notice is down in the gameplay objects at the very bottom, they put the combat area. Well, before I knew it, you could put this in down here, these lines, and it would turn the the warning off, but you would still get it on the screen saying you're leaving the combat area. And then through trial and error, I realized when you put 0, it says combat area manager.user.0, that shuts it all off. So you can go in there, you can fly all over the map, drive all over the map, and you don't get no warnings and no punishment. And that's all done at the bottom of your objects folder. So you want to scroll to the bottom, gameplay objects, scroll to the bottom, and that's where all that's listed down there. Info, this is where you add your photos. We'll right click that, and we'll go down here and we'll open it, but we'll open it with GIMP. And GIMP will open it through WinRAR. We're still working in WinRAR, but we're opening GIMP through that. Excuse me. So once we're in here, it's been a while since I've been in this one. It'll load our photo. And in here, you can zoom in, zoom out. You can add different stuff. As you can see, I've added flames. I added tracers for the bullets. I've actually put this plane in. This was a screenshot from in-game. I got the front view, and as I was flying, I hit screenshot, and I saved them into a folder. Then you can bring them in here, edit them the way you want them. I've also created another folder. Open this. Battlefield 2 has its own screenshot folder. So you can go to Battlefield 2, click on screenshots. And then this folder is where Battlefield 2 stores all the screenshots. So if there's something in here that you want to pull out, copy or paste, you just scroll down through here. Some of these are from Patriot Network, different Eagles or different stuff. We'll just do that one for now. We can open that one up. We'll convert that so it'll match. And then we can go Tools, select Tools, and we'll do an Eclipse just for the fun of it. And we'll open this up, say we only want this much of that folder. We can click Edit, Copy, and then we'll jump back to this one. We'll go Edit, Paste, and then since we're huge, we'll go to Tools again, we'll go to Transform, we can go to Scale, and under Scale, in here you can see where they're locked together. If you click on that, that'll unlock it. It'll do one side or the other side. If that's locked together, it'll do both sides together. So we can shorten that up, and we can slide it to whatever size we want. You can slide it here, slide it there. Say if we want to put it up here in the corner, we can set it up there in the corner. Say if that's where we want it, we can go up to Tools, and then Transform, click on Move, and it'll actually move it from where it was to that spot. If you don't click on Move and move it, when you paste it in there or add it to the layer, it's going to show up in the middle. And then if you want to go through and say, that's a little bit too big yet, you can go back over here to Transform, go back into Scale, and you can scale it down a little bit more if you only want it just in a little bit in the corner, or if you want it bigger or whatever, or if you want to take that and say, I'd rather take that and paste that over here. You can actually unclick that. You can drag this one to the top to wherever you want, this one to the bottom, and you can cover it up that way, whatever you want. It just makes it a lot easier. And then when you're done, you can go up here to File. We don't want to save it. What we want to do is export it. We want to export it as, and this is where it's going to export it, is right where we got it out of. You can click Export, and it'll ask you if you want to replace it. You can say yes, and it'll actually copy everything that you did, replace it right back into the folder that you were working at that you got it out of. We're going to cancel it because I don't want to mess that up anyway. We'll just cancel that out. And then up here we'll close it and we'll discard the changes. Now when you do the actual one, it'll actually put it in there for you, and then this will pop up again. Want to know if you want to save your changes. And all this does is create another folder with this on it inside GIMP, so if you want to go back to it. I usually don't save them because then you have a whole bunch of stuff that you want to get rid of. And then we'll discard that and we'll get rid of that one. And then we're right back into where we were. Now in the description, that'll open up in Notepad++ also. Now this here is where you go through and you can change. If you want to add Team Deathmatch, you can add Team Deathmatch in here. Like I said before, you can add different stuff. You just have to keep the file names the same as it is. The file has to stay the same. If you move this over, move a map, or get rid of a module that's not there, it'll crash or it won't load or you won't see your photo anywhere. So this file structure has to be the same. Battlefield Engine won't see it or won't recognize it if it's changed. Alright, some of the other stuff. Audio is really nice. You can pull this up. You can set that off to the side. You can go on the internet. You can watch videos. Say you want to record the videos off. You can play that on one side and jump on YouTube and battles, click on battles, and you can record the sound off it. You just hit record. The only biggest thing is if you're going to use it for load music, you have to keep it as at least 2 or 2.5 minutes, 2.8 minutes. That way it'll play the whole thing or play through it and it won't run out before the game loads. Really easy. Same way with this. You go File and you want to export. This one here will be lit up. Export audio. Make a folder. I've got a test one here that I've made. These are all the ones that I've made. The OGGs is the only thing that the Battlefield 2 engine will recognize. So if you made a wave, I'll show you here in a second how to convert that over to an OGG so you can copy that into your folder and into the right place where you need it. And basically this is all done through the audio part. Let's pull that up. And of course we're always got little stuff. But like most audios, you can run through it and it'll work pretty good as far as playing the audio. We'll just jump back and I'll show you where you got to put the audio at. And you got to follow the same file structure. What Battlefield 2 engine, you can find it on mod database also, is they'll create under that is called Battlefield 2 audio tools or sound tools. And in here you'll see an OGG EXD. And what you do is you'll open your folder that has your wave folder in it. Say we'll open this one up. We'll slide this one down over here. And we'll find one that hasn't been converted yet, in which most of them already are. We'll rename this one. Rename it. And we'll back that one off and we'll just put test. And we'll hit enter. And that'll be a test wave. And of course now that we did that, it moved it down. So now we'll take the test wave and we'll just left click, we'll drag it over here onto that one and drop it on there. And as you can see, it'll go through and it'll reformat it, it'll redo it, gives you the time that's remaining, and it's done. And it actually drops it right back in the same folder and it puts it in as an OGG. Works great. So that saves a lot of time of trying to cut and paste and do a lot of other stuff. Now as we go back into our mod, back into Warbirds, back into levels, and we'll just pick one here, Dragon Valley. We'll go up here to info. Now in your description, opened up under the Notepad++, you'll see here it says music, common, sounds, menu, music, and the OGG file. So if you're going to open that up, we'll scroll this down a little bit. We'll go back here, and that says common. So we'll go to client.zip. We'll go down here to that crap. Moved up. Just a minute here. It'll be in the common folder. So we'll go back up one. Go into server. Where in the hell is the common folder at now? Ah crap, that one's listed under the other one. Here we go. Common is underneath the front, my mistake. And then we'll go into client. Nope. It'll take me a little bit to find out where that stuff's at again. Sounds, and that's the way it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Common, sounds. So then we'll go into sounds. Then the next line was menu. So we'll scroll down here to menu. And then your load music. So there's the music folder. And now these are all the OGGs that are already in there. And as you can see, say you scroll through here and you find one that's a little different or one that you like better, all you do is copy this format, file format, backspace this out, and put it in here. So you would have, say, radio, flyer. You have to make sure it's a long OGG to match the whole thing. So you want to look at the redemption, the ones that have a million or more bytes in it, or you can add your own, stick your own in here, and you can add that one to it. But as long as you keep the same file structure where it's at, just change the OGG, it'll add that for you. So now when you load the game, you get your OGG that you want and where it's at. Let's see, what else did we have? We went through GIMP. We went through the tools, the sound tools. Most all these stuff that I have that we've went through and looked at. WinRAR, Notepad++, GIMP. Those are the three major ones that you use. The audio is alright, and the audio tools. A lot of them are pretty decent stuff to have because you can use it for other games and other stuff also. I think really that's really about it. We'll go over quick again. So you want to pick your mod that you want to use. Say even if you, NWM has a lot of objects, and I guess we'll get back into that too. They have a lot of objects, a lot of stuff stored in them. The mod you want to use, you want to make sure it has a lot of objects and stuff in it. Now getting back into the objects, if you want to paint your planes or paint your stuff that you want, all the DDSs are in the client.zip. There'll be vehicles, air, this is a 0 that I did, textures, and these are, the C is what loads, we talked about earlier about the INI file, where the parentheses were. If there's nothing in it, it will always load this file. You have woodland. If you put woodland in there, it'll load anything with the woodland suffix after it. Forest, if you got a forest in there, some of the other ones, whatever is loaded after it is what it'll load. And if you, since we're still working in WinRAR, you can click on it through here. Yep, crap. Let me close out of that. I forgot, you gotta right click this. Right click that, and yeah, there should have been an open with. Anyway, we'll get back up here again. under objects, vehicles. Anyway, the vehicles, air, this is all the air stuff that you can use in those mods. BF-109s there, planes, jets. So if you get on Wake Island and you're tired of the J-10s and the F-35Bs, you can add an F-14B and F-14A in its place. All that we talked about earlier. You can take Phantoms and put Phantoms in there. Whatever's in this folder, as long as it has the textures, the sounds, as long as the file is the same as what the other one is that you're replacing. Spitfires, same way. You can add this in its spot. So that gives you a lot of options to put in its place of what stuff that's already there. And this is where the DDSs are, where you can paint them. Now if you go back into option or objects and we'll do vehicle server, under the vehicle server gives you everything else. XPack 2 gives you all the vehicles. And as you change over from, say, a J10 to an Air.A10, you have to keep the same capital letters, small letters, the underscore. Everything has to be the same as this for it to load. If you change a capital letter with a small letter or change something else, the Battlefield 2 engine won't recognize it and it won't load it. A lot of stuff, a lot of changes. Add a warthog, you know, there's just a lot of C stuff. There's just a lot of stuff that you can add, change maps around. So you basically got a Battlefield 2 game that you can change everything around in it. Civilian stuff, Dickey's bus, the Shelby, those are where that stuff came out of. What else we got? Common is just common stuff. Land, these are the tanks, the jeeps, the vehicles. NWM, which is Night Watch Militia, their mod has a ton of stuff. They've done a lot of stuff. They put a Charger in there. I think there's some dirt bike with machine guns. Just a lot of stuff added in. You can use all that stuff in all your maps, change whatever stuff you want around in it. You just want to make sure that the file structure that you're adding has all the tweaks and all the common folders and all the common stuff in it that the Battlefield 2 engine will load, and you can get in it and fly it and drop bombs and everything. That is the same. Some of these I've noticed, I probably can't pick one out now. Yeah, the J10 doesn't have all the tweaks and all the other stuff that some of the other stuff has. Some of them that I've noticed, I don't know if they gave up early or what, but that doesn't have sounds. Some of the mesh isn't right. Some of the stuff doesn't work. So don't get frustrated if you click on something and it doesn't show up. Sometimes the only thing in the file, there's no con file or tweak file. It's just an AI and a mesh folder, and the vehicle doesn't show up. And just kind of oddball stuff for some reason. But basically that's where you can change all the stuff. So as a quick reminder, leave the originals alone. Make a copy. Rename it whatever you want. Go into that copy. Go under levels. Server.zip. Game modes. If you're going to edit stuff and move stuff around, spend time in there. You want to go into the CQ. That way you can check it, find out you don't have bots running around, people aren't flying planes. The object spawner is what the Battlefield 2 engine will create. It will create whatever's in here, and the file structure has to match this. So if you get down through here and you find out that the old city, the heavy tank is this, and there's room for, say, a mosquito there, and you'd rather have a mosquito, or you want the tank and a mosquito, you can just copy this, hit enter, move it down, paste it back in, change the AT to maybe heavy tank _1, and you can change the HT to mosquito, as long as it has a parentheses around it. In the rem is an off and on switch for the Battlefield 2. it'll start coming down through here, and it'll see rem. It says I don't have to load this, but it says object template. I'll load this, 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 and this. Then it'll jump to the next one, and it'll read rem and say I don't load this. I'll skip this, but I'll load this, this, and this. And the object spawner template and the rem part only describes what's there. That way you don't change a bunch of stuff and try to figure out, well, what did I put there and what didn't I put there and what's here and what's there. Just makes it a little easier finding out, you know, light Jeep, so you know there's a light Jeep there. So if you're going to take the light Jeep out and put in AIX ATV, you should actually change this to AIX ATV. As far as the map or the spawner template, it doesn't make any difference what's here. This tells it where to spawn it and what the name of it is. The set object template is what actually spawns there. So, you know, you can change this, or you can say screw it and leave it alone and just put whatever on here, and if you want to change it back, you know what was there original. So that's your object spawner template. That tells the engine what to spawn there. And then as we scroll down here a little farther, you'll find out object spawner. This is what the position is, where it's at in the map, where it's going to put it. And the only really line that you have to watch is the object's absolute position. If you make a copy of that up there, you make a copy down here, you rename what's after that the same. You just put 01, 02 after it. That way the battlefield too. So if you change this to US Town ATO underscore 01, you have to put ATO underscore 01 after this too. This has to match this, and they both have to match for the engine to put whatever you spawned in there at that position. Now if you copy this and copy that, and you don't change this and you don't change anything here, it'll actually spawn, say it'll spawn a bus, and then with the same measure or the same coordinates as say Cobra. Say you spawned a Cobra 2 at the same place, it'll actually put the Cobra inside the bus. So you'll have to watch and make sure that these absolute dimensions are different than what the other one is. And what works nice with that is, like I did down here, is you'll copy heavy tank O, paste it right below it. It'll automatically move everything down, and then hit heavy tank 3, and then heavy tank 3. And then as you go down through there, if you copy this and paste it down, it'll be heavy tank 4 and heavy tank 4. So everything matches, and this matches what you changed up there as far as your object spawner template. You can see there's 01, 02, 03, 04 like we did before. You just have to change the absolute position so it doesn't spawn it on top. And then once you figure out the map and where you want to put it, where you want to hide it or whatever, and it's kind of neat. I did a couple maps like that before, and I put an X-wing back in the corner that nobody else really knew about. So as we started gaming, I flew over there and bailed out and grabbed the X-wing, and they couldn't understand where I got the X-wing from. Of course, that only lasted a little bit until they realized it, and then we all had X-wings. But anyway, getting a little long here. That's basically the two. The vehicle client is where you change the DDS photos, paint them, and do whatever you want through GIMP. The vehicle server is the vehicles that you can use, put them wherever you want in the object spawner template and object spawner position, and that'll take care of most of all that. Say WinRAR, Notepad++, GIMP 2.0 works good. These are all free stuff. Everything all loads. Mod Database has them. If you can't find them at Mod Database, you can go ahead and search the internet for them. Most of them are all free. Your shortcut to your mod, that saves a lot running back and forth. Mod shortcuts for the folders, your mods, screenshots. This is all the screenshots from in the game, and like a lot of this stuff, you can open this up in Notepad or in GIMP, and you can copy pieces out of here, paste them in other maps or whatever you want. Edit maps. Those are where you get your 16, 32, and 64 folders that you can make if you want to do a team. Let me get back into that again. Yeah. I don't know if that one had. I think Mountain. Nope, those were just single players. I should have a edit map that has the layout for, let me go back in here, for the team deathmatch levels. I think that one's got a team deathmatch in it. Yes. So this is the file structure that you want. You have to make sure file structure stays pretty much like it is. You have single player 1, 2, and 3, and 16, 32, and 64. And you also have a team deathmatch. Now, if you're 32, you can make the folder with the 32 with the gameplay objects and the AI in it. Actually, the AI you don't really need because it's a team deathmatch network type deal. You can do a 64, just copy this over, copy this whole line here. Just right click copy it, and then click here, hit enter, and then paste it in its spot. And then you can change it from 32 to 64. You'll have a 32 deathmatch and you'll have a 64 deathmatch. The 32 you can put jets, say all J10s or J10s and 35s or F-14s and J10s. The 64 you can do prop planes. You know, you can do Spitfires and Mustangs against 109s and zeros or whatever you have or whatever you want. So it gives you a little more options on the stuff that you want to do or the stuff that you can do, and it's all done through Notepad++. It all has the numbers where the stuff goes. Same way with the gameplay objects. We'll get back into that and I'll show you a little more on that part of it. And working through WinRAR, like I say, it'll let you work through their folder in their folder. And in here, they've all got numbers. So say you scroll down through here and say artillery, you want to add more field cannons. So you can get a legal pad or whatever, and they're set at 137. So you can copy this, hit enter, paste it down here, change it from 6 to 7 or 06, 06, 06, and then add whatever you want in that position, and then write the 137 down, and then you can scroll down through here and find out where that position is under the spawner location, find out where 6 is, and then copy and paste that down, change that to 06 and this to 06, and then you can put a dot there, and then you 21, 25, and then the other one. So you can change this measurement around, go into the game, find out, nah, it's sitting on top of something or sitting crooked, not setting right. You come back in and you know you can scroll to 21, 25 or thereabouts, and that's where it's at. Instead of trying to go through here and say, well, where is it, and scroll back and forth, you know exactly where the numbers are, where it's at, which helps out quite a bit. And then Team Deathmatch, there's the 32 folder, and that does have an AI in it, gameplay objects. So basically what you would do is you would come in here and create, usually there's a create a new folder. Yeah, there it is. Create a new folder, rename it 64, and then you would open this up, and then you click on this, click on that, and then extract to. I would suggest creating a temp folder on your C drive. You would extract it to that temp folder, and then you would jump back up, and then the 64 that you folder that you made, you would click on add. And then you can scroll through here to say this PC, local C drive, go to your temp folder or temp files wherever you have it, and then click on the folder that you want, and then click OK, and we'll cancel out of that, and close that, and it'll add it into that folder. So that makes it a little easier. And like I say, you don't have to unpack it, repack it, or worry about losing everything. It's all done in WinRAR, which makes it a lot nicer. Well, it's been about 45 minutes to an hour. Leave comments or whatever if you want, and we'll get into some of the other stuff, something that you're having problems with or whatever. If there's something that you forgot, just rewind the video and watch it again. Some programs let you do a screenshot, hit Control-Shift-I or whatever and take a screenshot of it. Then you can always go back and look at that screenshot instead of playing the whole video. Well, thanks for watching. Comment, like, whatever you have to do.